So, let's be honest. Did you hate Eren Yeager's final confession? Did you find it, well, cringe? Good. That means Isayama succeeded. For 138 chapters, we watched the demon. We watched the stoic, determined, unshakable force of nature who kept moving forward. But in those last 10 pages, in that isolated conversation with Armin, we finally met the man. And the truth is, that man is infinitely more terrifying than the monster. Why? Why is Eren's single, weakest, most pathetic moment his most devastating and important legacy?
Let's first set the scene, because the where is just as important as the what. We are in the paths. This is not the real world. Reality itself is shattered. Time is meaningless. This isn't a conversation between two soldiers. It's a raw, unfiltered confession between two souls, existing outside of time. And this is where the Attack on Titan fandom, and honestly the entire legacy of the story, split right down the middle. For years, we built up this image of Chad Eren, the man who had a plan, the cold, calculating anti-hero who saw the future and was willing to do the unspeakable to achieve it. And then, in the span of a few minutes, Isayama shatters that image. He replaces it with a broken, selfish, jealous, crying teenager. The core question we have to answer is why? Was this a weak, last-minute retcon that destroyed a complex character? Or was this the one brutal, horrifying truth about Eren Yeager that we, the audience, had been refusing to look at all along?
Analysis 1. I don't want that. The tragedy of selfishness.
Let's start with the line that broke the internet. I don't want that. Mikasa finding another man? I want her to think about me and no one else for the rest of my life. Even after I die, I want to be at the front of her mind for a while. 10 years, at least. It's a slap in the face, isn't it? For the entire final arc, we were led to believe Eren pushed his friends away for their own good. That his cruel words to Mikasa, "I've always hated you," were a noble lie. We wanted a tragic hero sacrificing his own feelings for a grand ideology. Instead, what do we get? We get a 19-year-old kid throwing a tantrum. He's not crying about the millions he's killed. He's crying because he doesn't want the girl he loves to ever move on. It's not cool, it's not badass, it's pathetic. And for me, that's precisely why it's brilliant. It reveals that beneath the layers of savior, devil, and founder, Eren is still, at his core, a prisoner. He wasn't just imprisoned by the walls of paradise or even by the destiny he saw. He was imprisoned by his own base, human, selfish, possessive feelings. He can command an army of world-ending titans, but he cannot command his own heart. He can see the past and future, but he can't handle the thought of his friend finding happiness without him. That's not a contradiction. It's the core of his tragedy.
Analysis 2. I just wanted to. The slave to freedom. But it gets so much darker. This, for me, is the most terrifying line in the entire story. Armin, his best friend, his moral compass, asks him the ultimate question. Did you really have to do this? Did you have to slaughter 80% of humanity? Eren's answer is chilling. He confesses that even if he hadn't known his friends would survive, even if he hadn't known they would be the ones to stop him, he still would have done it. Why? I don't know why. I just wanted to. I had to. This is the real Eren. This is the truth that was hiding in plain sight since Season 1. His ultimate motivation wasn't some 4D chess plan for world peace. It wasn't just to save his friends. His motivation was a vague, abstract image of freedom. That scenery he saw in Armin's book. He became what I call a slave to freedom. He was so pathologically obsessed with the idea of being free, of seeing an empty, untouched world, that he was willing to burn everything to get it. And the worst part? He admits he doesn't even fully understand the impulse. He's just a stupid brat, as Armin says, who stumbled into the power of a god. That's not a hero. That's not even just a villain. That's a nihilist driven by a children's story.
Analysis 3. I Made You Heroes. The Calculating Martyr.
So, how do we reconcile that monster with the Eren who says, I pushed you all away. I made you the heroes who saved humanity. This is a Zero Requiem moment like Lelouch from Code Geass, but it feels so much dirtier, doesn't it? He confesses to manipulating everything. He confesses to guiding Dina Fritz's Titan away from Bertholdt and towards his own mother just to set the timeline in stone. He put his friends, the people he loves most, in the horrifying position of having to kill him. He forced them to become the heroes of the world by becoming the world's ultimate villain. This proves he wasn't just a slave to his impulses. There was a plan, a cold, calculating, manipulative plan to give his friends long lives and, temporarily, save his island. And this is the core of the paradox. Eren Yeager is two things at once. He is both the genocidal monster acting on a selfish, childish impulse to see a scenery, and he is the selfless martyr, meticulously planning his own death to save the people he loves. These two selves exist in the same body. They are not mutually exclusive. And that final confession is the only time in the entire story we see both of them at once, literally tearing him apart.
Now, I know what many of you are thinking. This ruins him. It betrays his character. It's weak writing. There's a huge part of the audience that feels this scene reduces a complex Sigma character to a whiny, pathetic loser, that it cheapens the horror and the seriousness of the rumbling. You wanted Eren to die as a symbol, a stoic demon, not as a lovesick teenager. But here's my counterargument. To remove this moment is the real betrayal of his character. If Eren was just a 100% evil, mustache-twirling villain, Attack on Titan would be a simple story. If he was a 100% noble hero, it would be a boring story. This moment is meant to be uncomfortable. It's meant to be pathetic. It forces us to accept the most horrifying, uncomfortable truth of all, that the greatest atrocities in our world, the most devastating acts of violence, are rarely committed by pure cosmic demons. They're committed by broken, flawed, selfish, jealous, and confused people. Eren isn't a demon. He's a human being, and that is why he was so terrifying. Eren's entire confession is a perfect example of what psychology calls the fragmented self. We like to think we are one single, consistent being, but we're not. We are a messy, chaotic collection of contradictory desires. Eren is the warrior who wants to save his friends. He is the jealous lover who can't let go. He is the nihilist who wants to see the world burn. He is the child who just wants that feeling of pure freedom. The final confession is the one and only moment where all these fragmented Erens are forced to exist in the same room and look at each other. It's the one moment of pure, unmasked honesty. So I have to ask you, which of these to you is the real Eren? Is it the determined warrior, the calculating villain, or the broken, crying child we saw in the paths? Let me know what you think in the comments. In the end, Eren Yeager's final confession wasn't his character's collapse, it was its completion. It's Isayama's final brutal reminder that the man who held the literal power of a god still possessed the heart of a slave. A slave to his friends, a slave to his own selfish heart, and most of all, a slave to a twisted, childish idea of freedom. Can we forgive him? Probably not.
But after this confession, after seeing the pathetic, broken human being inside the monster, can we understand him? Yes. And maybe, just maybe, understanding a monster is far more terrifying than simply hating one.